Okay, today we are going to start a new chapter, and that chapter is decimals. So, when you are going to start the decimal, we should know that what decimals are. Decimals are the values which are less than 1. Alright, when you are going to have a number like this, 235. Alright, so you all know that 2 stands for hundreds, 3 stands for tens, and 5 stands for ones, right? So if you're going to have 235, now just imagine that when you have 235 and this value is 5 ones, so what comes after that? If you're going to move on further after this, so these values are all the values which are less than ones. Alright, and less than ones, we need to show the decimal point here when we need to show the decimal numbers. Okay, so this point is used to represent the numbers which are having decimal number. So decimal point is used to show the decimal numbers, right? Now if you're going to have a decimal number here as 1, 2, 1, 4 and 6, right? So this one, what does this 1 stands for? The value of this one is 1/10. Okay, next number after 4, after 1 is 4, and this value the place value of 4 is 100. Okay, and the 6 stands for 1000. Okay, so the place values after the decimal point starts with tenth, hundredth and thousandth. Alright, let me just write again here because there was no space. Now if you have 12.567, okay, so this one is tens, this this is tens, this is ones, right? 2 stands for ones. After decimal point, this is 5/10, right? So you can write that the value of 5 is tenth, not tens, it is tenth. Okay, then after tenth it is hundredth. Alright, hundredth, hundredth, and after 6, the last number after 100, 600th is 7000th. Okay, so we can read this value as 12.567, and you can read this 5 as 5/10, and 5/10 we can write in fraction also, like this, 5/10. Okay, then 600th, and then 7000th, right? 600th in fraction we can write as 6/100, and 7000th we can write as 7/1000. Okay, the more the values over here are going towards the right side, the decimal numbers, the value of the decimal, that number is decreasing. Okay, right? So if it is 5/10, so 5/10 is bigger than 600th. Okay, because this is 12.5, right? And if we're going to move further and further, the value decreases. All right, it does not increase. Okay, now we have learned that value of decimal number, the place value of decimal numbers. Right, now if you have 5/10 in fraction, we can see that how fraction and decimals are related. They are linked together. Any number that you can write in the form of fraction, we can write in the form of decimal also. So 5/10, since it is upon 10, so 5/10 is the value after the decimal number, the first value after decimal number is the 10th value, right? So we are going to write it as 0.5, right? If it is 500, so 100th value is the second number after decimal, so you're going to write it as decimal as 0.05. And if it is 5000th, so 1000th is the third number after decimal, so you're going to write 0.005. 5. Okay, now if you're having a number here as 2500, so 2500 in decimal is 0.25. okay, and if you have 254,000, so in decimal 254,000 is 0.254. alright, now if I ask you to write this 1 upon 100 as a decimal, so you're going to write, see here that 100 has 2 zeros, so in the decimal this number is going to be the second place after decimal. 100 is the second place after decimal, so it is 0.01. This is the second place after decimal. And if I write here in the form of decimal 0.01, and if I ask you to write this as a fraction, so you're going to write it as 1 upon 100, and you're going to read it as 100th. alright, this 0.1 is 1/10. okay, and 1/10 you are going to write it as 1/10. the 0.01 is 1, the place value of this 1 is 100, so you're going to write in fraction as 100. and if it is 0.001, this is the 3 place decimal, so you're going to write it as, what is the value of 1 here? This 0 is 10th, 100th, and this is 1000, so you're going to write it as 1000. clear? okay, now moving on to how we can write the other fractions as a decimal. Now if you're going to have like 1 upon 5, how you are going to convert this 1/5 as a decimal number? Now it's very simple. The method is to convert the fifth as a friendly number, which is like 10 or 100 or 1000. You have to make this 5 equal to 10 or 100 or 1000. So how we can do that? We need to think about the number with which you're going to multiply this 5 with, and you're going to get 10. If you're going to multiply this 5 by 2, you will have 5 2s are 10, and you're going to rewrite this 1 also you multiply by 2, so you will, because you're multiplying this here, so you need to convert the whole fraction. So 1 2s are 2. Writing the equivalent fraction will not change the value of this fraction. okay, the original value is the same, remains the same. So because when you're going to, if you're going to see here and simplify this 2/10, you will again get 1/5. 2 1s are 2, 2 5s are 10. right, you have again going back to this fraction 1/5. So writing the equivalent fraction will not change the value of the fraction. okay, keep this in your mind. So I was telling you that if you have 1/5 and you have to write this in the form of decimal, so what you will do, you will have to think of a number that you multiply by 5 and you should change it to 10. आपको पहले इसको equal to 10 या 100 या 1000 करना होगा. अगर equal to 10 नहीं हो रहा तो आप इसको 100 करेंगे. अगर equal to 100 नहीं हो रहा तो आप उसको equal to 1000 कर देंगे. But we can make it equal to 10 by multiplying it by 2. So you will do the same with the numerator also, and you will get 1 2s are 2 and 5 2s are 10. Now 2/10 is very easy to write in decimal. 2/10 in decimal is 0.2. Now you can see the value of this 2 is 2/10. As I told you, the first number after decimal, the value of that number is 10th. So we can read it as 2/10. okay, 2/10. Now if you're going to have a number with like with a whole mixed number, like if you have 2 whole 1/2, right? Now this 2, the value of this 2 is 2 ones or 2 whole. Now if for example you have eaten 2.5 pizza, so this 2 shows that you have eaten 2 whole pieces of pizzas, right? And after that, this fraction you can write in the form of a decimal. okay, so how you're going to write this fraction 1/2 as decimal? First of all, you're going to convert this 1/2 as a decimal. You are having 2 whole 1 upon 2. First of all, the first thing that you will do is you're going to write 1 upon 2 as a decimal, and 1 upon 2 you're going to convert this 2 into an equivalent fraction, make it 10. We can make it 10 by multiplying by 5. So 1 5s are 5 and 2 5s are 10. And you all know 5/10 in decimal is 0.5. But where this 2 will go, we are going to add this 2 with 0.5, and your answer will become 2.5. 2 plus 0.5 is 2.5. So your answer is 2.5. 2 whole 1 upon 5 is same as 2.5. Alright. Now when you're converting a decimal number, for example, you have a decimal number 12.95, and you have to write this as a fraction. Previously we were converting the mixed number to a fraction. Here we are converting the decimal number to a fraction. Now over here we have 12.95, and this, if you're going to read this 95.95 means it is 9500, because it is 2 place decimal. If you were having only 12.9, right, if you were only having 12.9, so it would be 9/10, right? This 9 represents 9/10. The value of this 9 is 10. But if you're going to have 95, so this is 9500. Alright, and you're going to write this 12 as 12 whole. The value before the decimal number, this is 110 and 2, so this is 12 whole. So 12 whole and 95 upon 100, you're going to write this as fraction. And also we can simplify this if we can. If you will find here that you can simplify, reduce this fraction 95 and 100, you're going to get 12 whole. You're going to get 5 is how many times 95? 5 is 19 times 95, and 5 is 20 times 100. So we can get a reduced form of fraction also. We can reduce this also. So we will get our answer in the lowest term. Alright, you can also get the answer in the lowest term. Now for example, if you have 10.01, how you will write down this 10.01 in the form of fraction? You have 10 whole, this 10 will become 10 whole, and this is 100, so you're going to write it as 100, and we cannot simplify it further, so your answer is 10 whole 100. Alright, if you're going to have 18.05, so this 18 will become 18 whole, and this 5th value is, this is 0/10 and 500, so you're going to write it as 500. Now if you will see that this 5 and 100 can be simplified, yes, we can reduce it. We get 5 in the table of 5 ones are 5, and 100 we get 520 times 100, so your answer is 18 whole 1 upon 20, in the answer in the reduced form. Alright, so that's all for today. Thank you everyone.